Hi, and welcome to High Desert Metro News Special Report. I'm Andrew Caravella, entertainment correspondent, and I'm going to be your host for however long this interview takes. Former Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, you're like A-list celebrity status, right? Don Ferrarese.
I'm not quite a Hall of Famer, but in my mind I am.
Okay, well, I thought I could say Hall of Fame. How do we get you there? How does that work?
Well, I'm too darn old. How do I go? Well, I have to have won 300 games.
300 games?
Yeah.
How many have you won?
Oh, not enough.
Not enough. But you played, just reading here, Don Ferrarese, Donald, right, the original, the Donald, right?
Well, let me tell you about the Donald thing. First of all,
Okay.
when I call Donald, I correct everyone. Because the only people that call me Donald are telemarketers, or when my mother was mad at me, she'd yell at me, Donald.
Yeah,
Other than that,
So, former Major League Baseball pitcher, you played from 55 to 62 with the Orioles, Cleveland Indians, the White Sox, the Phillies, and then the Redbirds, the Cardinals, right?
you got it.
Left-handed thrower, that means you're intelligent because only 10% of the population is left-handed.
Well, my teammates used to complain that I didn't act like a left-hander. Most left-handers are a little squirrely. They wear their hat sideways and all that kind of thing. But I was just a normal guy.
You went to St. Mary's College here in California,
Yes.
and your nickname was Midget. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's interesting. The Encyclopedia of Baseball has me listed as a nickname. It was only 1 year of my entire career. And how that came to be is my shortstop, Woody Held, was not playing this day in Cleveland, and he was sitting in the dugout, and I was pitching. So I come back to the dugout, and he said, "You look like a darn midget out there." So the dugout all heard that, and I became midget.
Gotcha.
That's the only time in my life I was ever called midget.
How tall are you?
Well, I was 5'9", but I'm shrinking.
You are shrinking, so that does happen as you get older.
Yeah.
Most Major League Baseball players tend to be like 6 foot plus, right?
Oh yeah, I know. I fought the battle. In fact, the story on that is, as a high school player, I was the #1 player in the United States. I won the Lou Gehrig Memorial Trophy from Mrs. Gehrig. You know, Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig?
Yeah, of course.
You got that program?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So in 1947, I was voted the #1, unanimously, the #1 high school player in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wish I was the #1 player or something. All right. Ferrarese played his final big league game on September 22nd, 62. Do you remember that day?
Yeah, he hit a home run.
Yeah, you did. 1936, your 4.0 ERA. Just over 506 innings of work you did. And you struck out 350 and walked 295 batters.
Yeah, I'm a good walk. I walked a lot of men. I have 3 records in pro baseball.
Okay.
You mentioned Major League, but actually my career lasted longer. I signed in '48, and
Okay.
then I had the Korean War for a couple of years, so I had some years of minor leagues. But the 3 records I have in pro baseball are this. First of all, I walked 209 men 1 year, and that's a record that'll never be broken. I also had played in San Antonio in the Texas League. I had 4 consecutive shutouts,
Oh, okay.
4 in a row. And that's a record that'll never be broken, I don't think, because the pitchers don't pitch that much anymore. They pitch 100 pitches and the game's over. And then, of course, I tied Babe Ruth in the major leagues for hitting 3 consecutive doubles in an American League game.
As a pitcher, you hit.
I hit in the American League. In those days, everybody hit. Now the National League still hits, but the American League has designated hitters, so they probably could never be broken. That record of 3. So I got a record with Babe Ruth that'll never be broken. That's pretty good.
That's pretty exciting.
I like that.
Very good. May 26, 59, you collected 3 hits in 3 at-bats.
3 doubles.
All of them being doubles. You drove in 2 to 3 runs, 2 of the 3 runs that the Indians scored to help beat Chicago 3-0. And the pitcher that you victimized on that game was Dick Donovan and Jerry Staley.
Jerry Staley.
Mm-hmm.
You did your homework out here.
I did.
You did a good job.
See, us millennials have this thing called Google and Wikipedia.
I know.
So, lastly, June 22nd, 1962, you made the final hit of your career a good one. And why is that?
Well, I got lucky, I guess. I swung and the ball hit the bat, and then went over the fence.
Home run, right?
Home run,
Not a
baby.
foul ball.
I loved it. Yeah.
You faced Jim Owens, and you hit it was a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. And it wasn't enough, though, because as for the Phillies, your former team beat the Cardinals that day 11-3. As a fielder, you posted a .952 fielding percentage. What does that mean?
That means I didn't make many errors.
Oh, Okay.
Pretty good, huh?
Flawless
You know
almost.
more about me than I know about me. This
Right.
Wikipedia stuff,
It's kind of rejogging your memory,
it's,
right?
it's amazing. I get quite a few fan letters and
Very
people
cool.
that extract some of this information. I don't remember all that stuff.
So now you live here in the high desert.
Yes.
How long you been here?
Well, we found out about 53 years, 1963, January 1st.
What brought you here back then?
Well, in those days, when I went to the big leagues, our minimum salary was $6,000 a year. So
I'm sorry, how much?
$6,000 a year, and I got up to about 15,000. I thought it was, great, but with 3 children at that time, no money, so I joined the family business, which was a delicatessen in Apple Valley called Hugo's.
And why would you call it Hugo's?
Well, because Hugo was my dad's name.
Okay.
In fact, he was an immigrant from Italy. It's quite an interesting story about immigration nowadays and politically. He was christened Ugo, U-G-O.
Okay.
And the immigration man said, look, the Italians and the Irish were being persecuted. Let's put an H in front of the Ugo, and make a Hugo. They'll think you're German.
Ah.
And that's how Hugo came. How about that?
That's
A wealth of information.
good stuff. You're going to need this on Jeopardy if you're watching us. So, you came here.
Yes.
Did you ever visit Apple Valley or Victorville or Hesperia before moving here?
Well, I visited my parents. They came in 55.
Okay.
In fact, the reason why they came to Apple Valley was they came to Scottsdale, Arizona to see me in spring training with the Baltimore Orioles.
Mm.
And they stopped at the Apple Valley Inn overnight and ended up getting sold a lot and never left Apple Valley.
And
So when
you
I came, I joined the family business by default.
by default.
And we hated it. The rattlesnakes are on the road and the tumbleweeds wind blowing. And here I am 53 years later and I love it.
And that stuff still happens, right? It
It's
still
not-
happens today.
Not as much.
So let's talk about why you came into the studio today. You're not coming out of retirement, right?
Wow. I wish I could.
Yeah.
You know, I just told my wife yesterday the minimum now is 500,000 and the median for a major leaguer is 3 million.
You should go back.
Well, I don't know how much time we have, but I was asked to throw out the first pitch at Maverick Stadium 2 years ago.
Okay.
And the night before I warmed up a little bit to get my arm greased up. Well, I found I couldn't throw the ball 2 feet.
Okay.
So I said, now what do I do? So I got the neighborhood kid to play catch with me in the backyard the day before.
Does he know who you are?
He knows who I am.
Okay.
And I said, I can't throw the balls. But I went to Maverick Stadium anyhow. I came up with an idea. I got a ball and my old glove out, and I get another ball to the catcher, and I went to the PA announcer, and I said, look, when I get to the mound, can't throw the darn thing, I'm going to act like I throw it. The catcher's going to take the ball out of the glove, and he's going to yell, radar pitch! You can hear it, but you can't see it. I thought it was wonderful.
That's good. That's good.
So I walk up the stands and expected people to comment. Nobody said a word. I don't know if they knew what I did or not.
What is it about the desert community overall you love so much?
Well, the closeness of a small town, Apple Valley had 7,000 people when I came. And having the family business and no supermarkets, no grocery store, we knew everybody in town. And that relationship has continued through the years. That's why the relationships I've had in the community, just money can't buy that. And I'm very comfortable. My family's very comfortable here. And we hope to be buried here next to Roy and Trigger.
Well, Trigger, they stuffed, right?
Oh,
So unless you want to be taxidermy.
well, whatever it takes. Yeah.
So you are the Grand Marshal this year for the 70th Victorville Christmas Parade.
I'm very honored to
Yeah.
have been asked.
So how does that work? Does the mayor just call you up and say, you want to do this?
Well, I'm a former two-time president of Kiwanis.
Oh, okay.
And I had, I don't know how many years, 25 years, 30 years of Kiwanis activities. And Larry Huber asked me if I would be able to be the Grand Marshal, and I said I'd be honored to. So that's how that came to be. I guess they figured I did a few things in the community, and so I'm proud of that.
Yeah, you're big time around here. Man.
Oh yeah, I'm big time around. I'm shrinking though, kid.
Do you use your star status when you go places? Do you know who I am, or do you just walk in with a jersey so they know? Because I would if I was you.
Now, Andrew, you put me on a little bit, but I will share this with you.
Okay.
I told my wife the other day we had free breakfast and 2 dinners and a brunch, all by people in the and I'm embarrassed, you know.
I'll go with you
Would you?
if you're
Yeah,
embarrassed.
that's
I'll
right.
make you feel good
But
about it.
that's one of the pleasures. That's the celebrity, I guess, whatever it is. I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a plain old guy trying to get through life. I've enjoyed all my 87 years, and it's been fun.
What's the most? You're 87.
87.
What's
Yes.
the most bizarre story at this point in your life you've heard about yourself through the woodwork? Like any dead stories where people thought you were dead and whatnot?
Yes, at the part of the foundation situation when they did the Don Ferrarese Scholarship Foundation.
Right.
The impetus was Dan Tate was the president, and 10 people donated $10,000 apiece to start seed money.
Okay.
And I was very proud of that because they wanted to name something before I died. You know, you name a street and park after you're dead. Well, the three things that happened is talk about bizarre. Yes,
Okay.
You did your homework, Andrew.
I try.
Yeah. Well, just to share real quick, the park was built for me in Apple Valley.
You have a park built for
I
you.
have a park named after
I'm
me.
going to have to write that one. I need a park in my name.
Yes. But the problem
Take
with the
notes.
park is they went to the cemetery and got a headstone and put the headstone in my park. And when they showed me that, I freaked out. It says 1929. Of course, it was still blank, so I was okay.
So they dedicated a park in your memory.
Well, yeah, with my headstone there, yes. And then the second thing that happened before I passed away is that a little girl in the office did a brochure about the scholarship, the Don Ferrarese Scholarship Foundation, but except Memorial Scholarship Foundation. Well, that means I'm dead too. And then lastly, Jack Fales and I, who've raised over $2 million for charity in the community, he calls me and buys stuff off of eBay, and I saw a man living in Indiana selling a card with my autograph on it for $10, except it said deceased former Major League ball player.
Oh, that's an honor.
Jack gets on the phone. He calls Lebanon, Indiana. He says, I'm calling from Apple Valley. I'm interested in buying this deceased ball player's autograph. He handed me the phone. I said, hello, I'm Don Ferrarese. Total silence. So I said, how in the heck did you figure I was dead? More silence. He says, well, I took a chance. I saw you were born in 1929. I figured you were dead. Now, that's not the whole story.
Okay.
So that was 11 years ago. 2 years ago, Mr. Fales calls me back. He says, I want you to see this on the TV. I had written an 8x10 autograph this 11 years ago where I'm still alive, and I mailed it to this guy. 2 years ago, on eBay, he's selling that picture that I autographed for $35.
Oh, wow.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. I wonder if you get royalties off of that, you know? You should.
Well, you never heard from the guy. I think he was embarrassed. He thought maybe I was going to sue him. I don't care. I'm happy. In fact, they send requests for autographs. If I do, will you sign? The modern day ball players, of course, they have agents and they ask for fees. Hell, I'm honored that they ask.
A couple more things I want to cover before we wrap up our exclusive here with you at Channel 33. This jersey that you're wearing is actually one of your original ball player jerseys, right?
Yes. 1962 was my last year. It was the first year of Dodger Stadium. Actually, it was 62. So I knew I was done at the end of that season. And I had my duffel bag, and I was returning my duffel bag to the stadium from the stands with my wife. And I saw my teammates down on the field. So I took the duffel bag and I started throwing it. I said, no. So I stole this thing out of the duffel bag. So
It's got your name on it. Why not?
it's
right?
got my name on it, 1962, yes, full wool. We used to pitch, I pitched a game on July 4th in St. Louis, 112 with 98 humidity, in a wool uniform. Nowadays they have double knits and, oh, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah, different altogether. Last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the holidays. Like we said, you're going to be the Grand Marshal this year, literally on December the 3rd here, Saturday, for the Victorville Christmas Parade. What do you like the most about the holiday season?
Well, the camaraderie, a lot of the things that we've lost from the small community that came when I first was here. Because a lot of new people in town, and you don't have the closeness. In the old days, everybody helped each other. We needed help, you found somebody. Nowadays, they don't know each other. A lot of people from the big town, they don't know how to act. So I've been in parades before, not as Grand Marshal, but in parades, and you're waving to people, and there's interaction. And this is what we're missing, in my opinion, in the community. We need more togetherness.
More interaction, more togetherness.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have Facebook? Do you do that?
No, but I have somebody who does it for me.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's
We
cute.
gotta get you on Facebook or Instagram or something.
That's another story. Well, I don't have a computer. I've been in real estate 30 years,
Okay.
and I don't have a computer, and I'm the laughing stock of my peers, but I don't care. I do well.
So you do snail mail. That's how you do it,
Is that
right?
what you call it?
Yeah, snail mail.
Snail mail. I asked the secretary to print out. She had 35 pages of Facebook from these people because a lot of people say, "Hey, we're friends on Facebook." Would you say? Because I don't know. I'm not. I'm. What do you call it? Mechanically? No.
I have-
electronically challenged.
I have a coworker of mine. She says that she's tech-tarded. Tech-tarded.
That fits me.
Yeah.
I qualify, Your Honor.
Don Ferrarese, thank you so much for
Henry,
joining us. I'm
pleasure.
definitely going to see you in like a few days. We're going to be at the parade. So.
Well, you better wave to me.
I will. I have to.
All right.
They said if you do nothing else right, if you screw up this whole parade, at least wave to Don so he knows he's important and he matters.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and it's been a pleasure talking.
Absolutely. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
And bring some memorabilia so I can make
It's
some
going to
money.
cost you.
Okay, we'll talk off camera. Hey, I'm Andrew Caravella for Channel 33 here with Don Ferrarese. Join us December 3rd, I believe 10 a.m. for the Victorville Christmas Parade 70th Annual live from Route 66 on 7th Street. Until then, this was High Desert Metro News Special Report. We'll see you next time. Take care.